Hi, Joanna. I've looked over your lesson plan and here's my feedback. First, I think you chose a really great standard and a really good, like, lesson plan content that matches well with your text. And so, congratulations on that, because some students, teacher candidates, still really struggle with that, and you're clearly thinking a lot about what opportunities your text provides to you to teach these things. So, nicely done. All right. So, our goal is to write a literary narrative text using a range of devices. Okay, good. Don't forget your by clause. Oops, sorry. Don't forget your by clause in your objectives. So, explain the different kinds of narrators in addition to the pros and cons of multiple narrators by taking notes on the different kinds of narrators. For example, okay? But also, okay, so one, don't forget your by clause in your objectives. But two, make sure that your objectives align to your evidence outcome. So your objective, your evidence outcome says, write a literary narrative text. And I see at the bottom you have them rewriting a paragraph. So there you go. But your objectives just says explain the different kinds of narrators. You might actually need two objectives here. Explain different kinds of narrators by taking notes and participating in class discussion. Two, write a short narrative text from a different character's point of view. Sorry. Express insight to a different character's point of view by rewriting a paragraph from the book. Okay, so see how I've one, aligned what you have here with what you have here, and two, I've done a by clause. Okay, so two things there. All right. Next, very good job on a very nice fluid motion from the hook into, the reality of their world, into, dropping themselves into experience, bringing that over to the text. Very fluid, very nicely done. Okay, so because we're talking about point of view, let's make sure we've got some common language to talk about it. There's 4 types. Here they are. Good. Well done. All right. What I want to see here is a little bit more back and forth between you and the kiddos. Here, and here. Okay? Think about Doug Lemov's double planning. Okay? I understand that while you are saying, my mouse won't move, all of this, the kids are supposed to be writing down what you said. That's a lot of writing for kids, like it takes forever to write it on the board. Well, it takes forever to write it in your notes too. So I'd like to you to do a little bit more back and forth so that you can keep the engagement going. First person point of view is when the story is told by speaker. First person uses words like I, me, my, we, us, our, and ourselves. Can you think of any examples? Wait for it. And then you have a few ready in your arsenal as well. Examples. What about this, this common text or this blah, blah, blah. Use some children's lit, use some young adult lit, some popular fiction, whatever. Second thing, or, same thing here. Second person point of view is when it's told addressing you as the reader. Second person uses words like your and yours. Now this one's pretty uncommon. If you guys ever experienced a text like this, chances are that they haven't, right? And so you need to have some of those examples ready. Well, look at this example here, and then allow them a moment to look at it, think about it, maybe even talk the tiniest bit. What happens? What's different using first versus second? All right, and then here's third person. Can you think of an example? I've got one ready. Here's another third person, omniscient. I'm thinking of an example, got one ready. And maybe even a little piece right here, because you say third person objective point of view is when it's narrator objective. It's different from unreliable. Who can remind me that unreliable is blah, 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 blah. Then you go right, this and that, and then you say, so there are multiple characters in the Poisonwood Bible, right? What about, and here I'm thinking about Bloom's taxonomy, here I'm thinking about the opportunity to extend and deepen my questions. I've just covered some information and gave you some labels to discuss this. We've just talked about a few examples to discuss this. Now, I don't know, do you want to evaluate, synthesize, analyze just a little bit and extend the depth of this? Why do you think authors might make these different choices in their text? And here, guys, I'm asking you to speculate. It's not something we've really thought much about yet, but there are 4 choices available to every author. What do you think? Turn and talk to your partner for 2 minutes about maybe the pros and cons of one of these, or the reason for one of these, and speculate on that. So do you see how just staying there for one extra question, just Why? Hear the narrators. Why do you think authors would make those choices? It sinks that learning nice and deep because they take the information, they listen to it, and then they have to do a little bit of work with it, right? Then you move on to, okay, so we've got a lot of different narrators in the Poisonwood Bible. They're all first person. So again, we want to start asking ourselves why. Why did the author make this choice of like all these different narrators in first person? Let the question hang out there for a sec. Let them struggle with it. Then you move on, to here, the importance of the story in light of all the different narrators, and draw the chart on the board. And I love the chart on the board thing. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna, I want a couple things here. I want your objectives aligned. I want by clauses in them. I want a little bit more back and forth between you and the students so that they have to work to take that information into them. It's that ebb and flow. I want your students to have to use that information right away, even if it's in a speculative fashion, okay? And then, right here, for your independent practice, I want you to pick a paragraph from the Revelation and practice writing in a different point of view. That way, by the time you've got here, you can say cool things to them like, guys, I want you to be the author now, and I want you to make the choice. Pick any paragraph you want, but pick it with purpose. Why would you like to rewrite that paragraph from someone else's point of view? And the cool thing is, there's some really good thoughts about why that might happen. Oh my gosh, because this narrator gave this scenario and it's totally biased. Like, we know that over here, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool reason. You be the author, you make the choice, you redo it. So see how that adds some fluidity to this report back in independent practice, okay? So good job. Make some of those revisions for me. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.